All right, my Saggy lovers, you guys are so awesome. I've had lots of amazing Sagittarians in my life. I hope you guys are doing great. We're having a few sticky deck issues. We're gonna do your reading for January 2024. I hope that you all had a nice holiday season. I mean, these holidays and things I think are structured into our, cultural paradigm in a way that just is what it is. I think more on a seasonal level, where just are, taking some quiet time and hanging out with the friends and the family and stuff, or just claiming a bit of spaciousness and self-care time for ourselves. I think the winter time really warrants that, and right around the solstice, that depth of winter. Sleep more, eat more, be merry, that kind of thing. And deep prayer, always the deep silence and prayer for the people on this planet who might be going through some difficulties, right? So divine guidance and love and clarity, divine guidance and love and clarity for my Saggy lovers. Anyone who resonates, you guys take what resonates, leave the rest. These are for fun and entertainment, as a way to promote Ulta Love and to get to know you guys. You can book private readings if you want more specificity. Divine guidance and love and clarity for my Sagittarians. Getting messages. There's a message coming through, possibly from an Emperor energy. They're in the reverse though, so it could be Cancer or Aries. There's a message. I'm concerned though, because this Emperor is in the reverse. There's definitely like an initial message and then possibly a bunch of back and forth with this person. This is something you are manifesting, and also you're wanting to move something forward and you're wanting to heal something. I'm assuming, or I'm going to think it's about this Emperor person. This, again, an Aries, powerful person. They're in the reverse. What I'm getting is that they might be going through a hard time. And the message they're sending in the back and forth could be simply about, like, them asking for advice, them asking for help. For some of you, weird. For some of you, this could be actually about a living situation. They might need a place to crash or a place to stay, or maybe they want you to come stay at theirs or something like that, or even look after them if they're in the reverse. Like, I'm getting that visual, like, can you come and stay? I really need some support right now. On some level, this looks like you've manifested this, though, too, because it's a key exchange. It's possibly receiving some bonus or some sort of upgrade of... Because Seven of Pentacles is here, and that's a, intentional manifestation energy. And the Chariot card is moving it forward. Hierophant reverse makes me think of, like, there's possibly a key exchange, or you coming into some sense of power, hence a promotion, or... like a job offer, but like somebody kind of coming into your world and being like, hey, can you do this for me? And you're like, oh my God, I've been asking or praying or wanting some substantial change in the work situation, and then this comes through. Interesting card as well. Hell Shazam. So it's the artist, all paths, lead home. So that's interesting. So all paths lead home, inner authority, Hierophant reverse. I often see that as claiming our inner authority. Hence manifestation, Chariot energy, right? You're wanting to move something forward. You are intending to create something. More than likely, as is often the case, more than likely, we're going to need some help. We're going to need some other people. And I'm not sure, but this message you get, possible Emperor, you guys going back and forth, them either asking or requesting advice or requesting a service from you. I wouldn't say yes right away because they're in the reverse. I feel like maybe there's a negotiation that has to take place. Like you're going to negotiate a proper rate. You're going to negotiate maybe, again, a certain level of income. Because here it's your life as a canvas, artist, manifestation, creative accountability. I feel like it's your services. Somebody's wanting, somebody's asking. And then once you negotiate the deal, once you claim what it is you're wanting from the situation, you're going to let yourself move forward. All paths lead home. It doesn't matter if there was some missed opportunity in the past, or often is the case, and I can testify to this, that we might think it's all random. We might think it's not happening, and actually all of those twists and turns and moments of like, oh, why have you forsaken me, is all part of it. And we tend to recenter ourselves, well, when we do. Because the Wheel of Fortune is here, kind of supporting this whole reading, basically saying that, you know, that's just continual. The wheels of change. That's a continual cycle. Just going to keep happening. I think this is where that turning point is, though, too, where you're like, okay, if you're wanting this advice, if you're wanting this service, if you're wanting me to do this, that, and the other, I have to think about it, or I'm going to figure out what I need from the situation, and then we can carry on discussing the details. Yeah, Sun card I just saw in the reverse, though, so they're maybe you're just unsure, especially if this is somebody from your past. Something about distant shores is coming through. Three of Wands, distant shores. Some of you might either be dreaming of some distant shores, or you know, Sagis, this is making me think of like, I wouldn't make a move until you're absolutely sure. Kindred soul keeps coming up here. I think this, I mean, yes, we're in this winter spell as well, right? Coming into January, and I'm kind of getting this sense of like, you might be, something's coming back around, and there's a kindred spirit connection here, work-wise, or just energetically speaking. And for some reason that Three of Wands is giving me a sense of like, you can dream it, but maybe not take action right away, because Ten of Swords. There's something I'm hearing about stable footing, like after this cycle of pain or loss, stable footing. And I would say also with that Hierophant reverse and the Emperor reverse, like not making any sudden moves until you know the thing that you're moving toward is going to nourish the garden or nourish the manifestations that you're intending. Especially, I think, because these are certain people, places, or things that have a certain amount of power, maybe through tradition or maybe through institution. However, it's an illusion. They're not as powerful as maybe what they once were or how they were once perceived. And on this occasion, these powerful energies are kind of coming to you being like, hey, can you help, or can you do this? Or would you be interested in helping us in this department? Or could you use some of your insight? And you're like, yeah, maybe. And you're really having to ponder it. Part of you might want to bounce. Part of you might want, I think that's the energy I'm getting from Three of Wands. Some of you guys might want to like flee. However, I say flee because it's connected to a Ten of Swords, and it's making me think whenever things get a bit sticky, and or like sabotage situations where the immediate like either more power or more status or more money, the Wheel of Fortune starts to change, and you're like, I'm out. So there's maybe a sabotaging experience here of like booking a ticket or bouncing, like traveling or going away or just packing a bag and like getting a ticket and going away the moment things get a bit sticky. Or possibly when like soulmate energy comes in or powerful connections come in, like what, and then you leave, right? You get out of the situation. So something about these connections here, the Emperor, the Hierophant, the Chariot, something's wanting to move you forward in your integrity with regards to what you're manifesting, and yet letting some of those institutions and or traditions help you. Letting some of those people in positions of higher up help you. Whether or not you like fully trust them or really, really know them, you can certainly negotiate a deal that's probably going to feel appropriate for you, work for you, and help you grow your garden, help you grow your manifestations, right? So that you can finally move on. You know, like I would dare say you're definitely wanting to move on, you're wanting to move forward. Okay, so that's, I think, giving me a bit of clarity. Like we're on it as far as be mindful of what you push back against. Be mindful of like, as in somebody drawing a message and you being like, yeah, whatever, or don't be like you're not being real, or let's get just a bit more clarity on that. Oopsie. So yeah, it could have to do with your perception of like, or rather part of the desire to like resist or push back or run away from is possibly connected to a paternal lineage. Belief system, thought form. It's an air sign, King of Swords, okay? King of Swords reverse. And you're defending against. So this could be a false narrative or whatever connected to your paternal lineage. King, sword, air, thought form, right? So, but this is your past. Like, get away from me. Part of why you probably always run away from situations, possibly. Three of Wands. This is just about to get good, or my ships are just about to get good. My ships are just about to come in. I'll go traveling. No, let the ships come in. Let the good stuff come in. Wheel of Fortune. Everything is going to keep changing, whether we like it or not, but we can keep doing the same thing if we want. Sometimes we don't even know we're doing something until we do. And then we reflect and go, fuck, man, that's a heavy duty pattern. I have done that since I was 4 years old. I have done that thing since I was 8 years old. Whatever it might be. But I think there's, different aspects or cycles, patterns, the different cycles in our lives that I would say almost present themselves to us when we're ready, when we can see, when we can hold the space, when we can acknowledge, when we can whatever, have the compassion to see ourselves through something. Then we do. Then we can halt the pattern. Then we can shift it. It's not easy. It's not like straightforward necessarily, but we are capable of doing that. Perspective, right? And I feel you. I definitely have a couple of things I'm really endeavoring to shift that perspective. So the kindred soul, that came up prior to the reading as well. So that's important as far as some of you guys might be dealing with somebody special, somebody important in as far as the way that they can support you in shape-shifting some of these patterns, which would have you almost like I want to say just running away from what's good for you, running away from what's meant for you out of fear of repeating the past. That's I want to say almost a paradox, right? That we're the same thing we think we need to run away from is the same thing we need to run to break free from the spell of doing it over and over again. Does that make sense? I think it somehow does in my mind. And then moving forward, so the kindred soul is an aspect of probably self as well, but there's something here about moving with positive intention. Taking your time as well, like moving with that positive intention, but boy, oh boy, letting ourselves have the time we need, right? Simply, to be clear, I worked with a relationship coach recently, and that was, you know, two really useful nuggets that, or, you know, a few more than that, but the two that really stuck with me is like, I'm in control. I'm in control. No one else can control me. No one else, right? I'm choosing to be in control. And then intention. And I was able to be honest about that. You know, I am typical, or for years certainly have been an intentional human, but chaos and pain and life things happen to us, and we can often get thrown back into certain survival patterns, whether we know it or not, are conscious of it or not. And then it's about really kind of reattuning ourselves, and that's part of get asking for help, working with other people that can hold our hands for a bit and reflect different things. And that's one thing that I really took from those months of working with James, was that sense of intentionality. You know, because then there is a greater sense of dominion. Well, that's not part of my intention, but thanks. You know, like, we can be more discerning with energies that come in, rather than just feeling almost overwhelmed with everything coming in and like not being able to discern because we're just like freaking out in survival mode. So, you know, to each their own, of course, and obviously just massive blessings for all of us as humans, because let's be real, the human experience is challenging. And part of the glory or the beauty is that we've all chosen to be here. It's like, what? And, you know, ride on this magical, mysterious rock or planet that's, you know, moving through infinite time and space. So, and like, we're part of that entire cosmic mystery. As much as when we're looking through the veil of this earthly experience, it's filled with contrast and filled with horrible things. And our own experience can be wretched, you know, and yet the polarity, that infinity loop, that reflectivity of this experience in its entirety is just exquisite, fundamentally. And unconditional love comes up a lot. Unconditional love, that's part of the challenge, I think, starting right from our own self and our own bodies. You know, the majority of us, I would say, I don't know, I don't want to speak for other people, but most of us probably have days where we don't even want to look at our own reflection. Days where we're really troubled by just hanging out with our own self. You know, let alone these extravagant projected ideations of I don't know, vapid superficiality and just being able to buy stuff. I think sometimes when you ponder some of the deeper questions of our existence, there's a lot that goes on in our human experience that we might see out there that it doesn't actually make very much sense. But here we are. How can you make sense of something so deeply eternal, infinite, and beyond often what our perception would lead us to think about ourselves in this reality? So it's a holla shazam kind of life, right? Jazz hands and smiles and cries and just allowing ourselves to be the fullness of who we are unashamedly, right? I watched a documentary yesterday about girls in India and a kind of initiative to try to get girls and boys more educated about their periods. And I would dare say an element of the education is to give girls and women a bit of dignity around their menstrual cycle. In an area where it was visceral, watching this very well done 30-minute documentary. I believe it's on Netflix. Period, End of Sentence was the name of it. And yes, watching these girls and some boys, but more the girls, talking about this period and menstrual cycle and the bleeding, it was visceral, that sense of shame or that sense of like embarrassment. And I think about how far we've come in our different cultures, and yet again, I would say a lot of us as women are still having to purge or clear or heal some of those distorted aspects of shamefulness around our bodies, which is the same token. So that cycle that all women go through in their human experience is directly connected to the ongoing cycle of life and obviously procreation. So it's like something that is so beautiful and so natural and actually so powerful has been deemed like gross and dirty and like sick, and just girls have to deal with this problem. You know, and you're like, oh no. So yeah, it just, it's a little gentle reminder of we humans, we've got a ways to go. And when does it end? Where would I say that? Like, we've got a ways to go. To where? Who are you speaking for? Who are you speaking to? And I'm thinking, I'm speaking to my own perception of endeavoring to kind of quantify and upgrade the human experience to be in less suffering. But who am I to choose that for other people? And would anyone desire and or deserve that level of responsibility to somehow think they were like, we're like responsible and like we need to make everybody accountable and we need to... It's like, I don't think necessarily work like that, because sometimes you come to these deeper truths and it makes you realize that it's not your problem. Like, it's not up to you to play God. It's not up to any of us fundamentally. Anywho, I'm looking up at 42, 42. Anyway. So, Sagis, thank you for listening to me if you made it to the end. I really love and appreciate all of you so much. I hope you guys have a great month of January. Let me know if this resonates with you. Let me know, like, yeah, if any of that lands as far as, yeah, some of our lifelong issues when working with those and giving ourselves permission to not do stuff that we've often done. Or to even not think things that we've always thought. That's powerful, Like, defending against shitty thoughts, that's a thing. That's available to you, too. Like, you have the power to choose. I think that's part of it with the 7. You increasingly have more power to choose. You don't need to choose the same thing you've always done. You can choose something different and move forward with that, like, shift in perception with positive intentionality. Intend. All right, my lovers, I'm going to leave it there, Sagis. I'm having another day today where I can just be chill. I ended up waking up really early, and then, as often is the case, I just felt like doing another monthly reading. So happy to be here. If you're interested in joining our Patreon community, feel free to join us, where there's ad-free first access, and often when I'm putting these videos out, the patrons will get to join us live. Sometimes having a bit of chat if we get to sign or get to hang out live together. And then there's more engagement with patrons. They get really top tier patrons get mega discounts on one-to-one sessions with me. And there's a little bit more interactivity via the Patreon community as well. Thank you guys for showing up on my channel, for liking, subscribing, commenting. It is an absolute joy and my pleasure to get to know you all. Feel free to check out Ultra Love merchandise, book, online courses. I'd love to get to know you there too. So have a good one, you guys. Look after yourselves. Happy New Year, Saggy. You guys are awesome. Have a great 2024, and I'll see you soon for more videos. Take care. Peace out.